Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. Woo! Welcome to the third annual Global Summit for 1% for the Planet, which is becoming rather a serious international gathering. It's amazing. My name is Caroline Duell. Welcome. My name is Caroline Duell, and my company is called All Good. And I'm completely, humbly honored and grateful to be kicking off this summit tonight. So, the focus of the summit this year is growing a movement. And I've been asked to share the story of All Good as it relates to building the movement. So I will do that, and thank you for being here and listening. But first, we have 3 steps to take. We're going to take them together. We always like to start with gratitude. So, a tremendous thank you to 1% for the Planet. Feel free to bring your voices into the thank yous. Yeah. Kate, John, Carla, Amanda, Liz, your board, your staff, all of you guys for putting this event on. We're so lucky to be here. A big thank you to all the speakers and panelists who we're going to hear from tonight and tomorrow. Thank you for your time, for your energy, and your wisdom you'll share. Thank you to EcoTrust for sharing this beautiful, amazing space, and for all the other crazy, amazing things you guys do. What a place to gather. It's so appropriate, right? What a cool space, EcoTrust. You guys will hear from Jeremy later. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you for taking the time to travel and come here and meet and talk about what's so important for all of us. And then finally, I want to express a gratitude for all the people who are not here with us, for our invisible network of support that allow us to be present. So our ancestors, our elders, our teams back at our headquarters, right? Our families, our babysitters, our villages. Thank you to all of them. Yeah. The second step we're going to take is an acknowledgement. Think about your journey today and where it started. Where did you wake up? This morning I woke up on Washoe land at 7,000 feet in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. I walked a quarter mile over snow and then got in my car and gravity fed 150 miles down into the Miwok Valley and then flew north and landed here where we gather on the land of the Multnomah people. So this acknowledgement was requested by a Chumash elder woman at an event I attended in Santa Barbara to spread this awareness. She said to us, "Please know whose land you're on. We do not claim ownership to land, but our connection to it is deep. So when you're traveling, know whose land you're crossing, and when you are speaking at public gatherings, please acknowledge whose land you're on." So here's to the Multnomah and their indigenous neighbors of the Pacific Northwest. All right. And our third step with that awareness is a moment of mindfulness to bring us present. So please close your eyes. Take a breath. And bring your focus to the thoughts spinning in your head. Notice them. Thoughts about your journey here, perhaps, or about the people you're seeing, about the emails you missed today, any and all of your thoughts. Then, with another breath, bring your focus to your feelings. Of course, they relate to those thoughts, but what are the real feelings you're having? Anticipation, excitement, worry, tiredness? Don't use mine. Feel your own feelings and give them attention. Really feel them. And with another breath, let your mind drift to your sensations. Feel your clothes touching your body. Feel the sensation of the air around you as you breathe it in and return it to the collective air we all breathe. And then hear the sounds in the room. Don't try to process these sensations. Just truly experience them. Finally, one step deeper, take your attention to the stillness inside of you. The deepest, calmest, most still place inside of you. And rest here. Be still and welcome the stillness. From this place of stillness grows awareness and lightness. And from this stillness, we can gather together as one collective energy over the next couple of days to feel, to think, to support, to listen and engage authentically with one another. If setting an intention for this summit feels right, go ahead and let that emerge. When you're ready, take your time. Find yourself moving back up from the stillness and bring it with you through the sensations, hello to your feelings, back to the thoughts. And then open your eyes to the presence of you truly being here. So here we are. Feels good to bring us into this space. Now I'll share a bit of our story. All Good makes organic and botanical body care products and reef-friendly sunscreens. We're based in Morro Bay, California, and our vision as a company is that people are inspired to live in balance with nature. We've been in business for 13 years, and for every single one of those years, we've given 1% of our revenues to nonprofits through 1% for the planet. Right? We've worked with over 30 organizations and many initiatives. And the easy decision for me to join 1% for the planet right out of the gate is woven into how this whole story started. I graduated college with an environmental studies degree focused on holistic healing. Somehow my advisors let me weave 4 years of working as a medic on an ambulance, guiding wilderness trips, and studying botanical medicine into a degree. A few years later, my boyfriend at the time, now my husband Ryan, and I found ourselves living and working on an organic farm in West Marin, California, just northwest of San Francisco. He planted garlic, tomatoes, raspberries, while I installed an herb garden. And from that herb garden, I crafted a healing salve from 5 plants that loved living together. And I called it All Good Goop. It was a self-serving ointment for me, as my other jobs were practicing massage therapy and teaching climbing. And I kept the salve handy for myself and gave it away to family, friends, clients, sold it at the farmers markets. It was a hobby. I did not intend for it to be a business. I had no interest in having anything to do with business at all. Eventually in 2003, Ryan and I bought a farm on the central coast of California. Well, actually, we bought a junkyard. We got rid of 40 cars, tons of garbage, metal, appliances, crack pipes, Harley motors, you name it, until we could actually start farming. The project was immense and intense. It broke my brain, in fact. And I had to let my salve-making hobby go by the wayside. But then the calls started coming in. I was like, dude, I can't do this. My climbing partners, farmers market goers, were asking for All Good Goop and demanding that I make more of it. So I did, and I sent it to them. I sent it in mason jars. And it worked a few times, but quickly I realized that something was happening. Like a business was starting. It started to look like it. But so I consulted with a friend of mine. I was like, I don't know what to do. This looks like it's starting to be a business. And I'm just not going to sell my soul to the devil and become a part of the problem, because we were all pretty hell-bent on being a part of the solution. So he said to me, check this out. And he handed me a tri-fold brochure of 1% for the planet. Literally, legit, this is how it happened. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? First of all, there are other companies out there that care. And second of all, that I can start a business rooted in environmental integrity by making this commitment from the start. Wow, it was like this huge light bulb went off. So I got it going. And Ryan and I traveled to every ski shop, climbing shop, and health food store we could around the US to sell our one SKU, All Good Goop. Every year, we added new products and new people. But the most important decision I made as a new business rooted in 1% philosophy was that this company was going to be about bettering, not about biggering. Yeah. So go figure, right? As many of you have probably experienced, when you go focusing on bettering, growth happens. I aim to replace every product in a person's travel kit with all good ingredients. Out with the chemicals, in with the organic, botanical, agricultural ones. It was my dream, and it still is, that people can actually connect the dots between the global health of soil and the healing of their own skin. Following the progression of things, We started making sunscreens in 2009, the same year we became a certified B Corporation. Who knew that sunscreen is political? Not this one. I had no idea. In fact, I used to play the sidelines with customers. I'd be like, I don't care what brand you use. It doesn't matter to me. It's your body, your choice, whatever. Well, in 2016, things completely changed for me. I was invited to attend the International Coral Reef Symposium in Honolulu, Hawaii, where I sat and listened in a closed-door session to 4 years of data downloaded by toxicologists on the impact of chemical sunscreens on coral reefs. It was an emotional series of presentations where scientists were literally shocked by their own findings, that chemicals like oxybenzone, avobenzone, octocrylene, octosalate were causing bleaching, DNA mutation, endocrine disruption, and ultimately death in corals. The most shocking, I think, for the scientists was the level of toxicity. 62 parts per trillion. So the visual equivalent of that is 1 drop of water in 6.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools is enough to kill a coral reef of that area. Yes, pretty mind-blowing, right? And the added point to all of this, mentioned many times by the scientists in that session, corals are animals. Humans are animals. It's not just the coral we're killing. So I came out of that conference with a renewed urgency for activism. The sidelines I had let myself be a part of no longer existed. There were no sidelines. This is a game we're all in. It's crazy, right? And so began the drift from just selling all good products to growing a movement that eliminates toxic chemicals from the face of the earth. I immediately found our 1% kick buck grassroots campaign experts, LOACOM, in the house, and we launched a reef-friendly campaign. We hit the ground running with minimal resources, and we contacted 1% partners who were already working on the issue. We found nonprofits who were like super working hard on the issue that weren't 1%. We got them to be 1%. We created reef-friendly criteria in really simple terms so people could understand what the hell we were talking about. And then we, with the state of Hawaii as our focal point, we hosted sit-in education systems sessions, did sunscreen exchanges, held events. We got athletes on board, like Sensi Graves, 1% for the Planet member and all good athlete, kite surfer. And we got professors, scientists, consumers, kids, NGOs, all to play a part and have a voice. We created a reef-friendly pledge, we got signatures, and then we fed those signatures to legislators. And I'm happy to say that in collaboration with numerous organizations, other brands, and ultimately representatives and Governor Ige, Hawaii became the first state to ban the sale of 2 active chemical sunscreens. Yeah. It was a huge win. Yeah, huge win. It happened right after this summit last year, actually. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time at this summit, wondering if it was going to go down. But in that year, we've seen additional legislation from the island nation of Palau, even stronger legislation from them, then the city of Key West, Florida, and most recently, the countries of Aruba and Bonaire in the Caribbean as well. But with that win, as you guys all know, legislation is so watered down, right? It's like, here, I'm pouring these toxic chemicals on you, and we've proven that they're really bad for you, so we're going to stop pouring some of them in 2 years. Right? So it's like, shit, now the work is when it really starts. Like, now we really have to deal with this. The momentum is here. So we launched the Safe Sunscreen Council with 12 of our friendly competitors to form an alliance and be a louder collective voice in the industry. And some of those are 1% members as well. We continue to drive education on every level that we can, and we will not stop until chemicals in sunscreens we look at them as we do spraying DDT on household lawns. A thing of the past. Done. Yeah, thank you. So I think that's the movement part, right? We just took it beyond all good. In all of this, there's something really important I want to share. And it's another thing I learned at the Coral Reef Symposium, is that researchers have identified about 6 sites around the globe that coral is actually spawning successfully. It's looking positive. They're coming back, they're doing well, and these are specifically places that are not dealing with 3 source point solution issues: agricultural runoff, sewage runoff, And you got it, gringos drenched in hormone-disrupting chemicals. So if you get rid of that, the coral actually has an opportunity to handle and be resilient against the devastating impacts of climate change, because that is obviously completely real. So that just gives me hope. These places around the globe, they're actually called hope spots by researchers. It's amazing, right? It's like, why would we do it if there weren't actually some proof that there's a reason to do it? So this inspires me to think of hope spots as a useful tool for all of us. Expanding beyond coral reefs, what are your hope spots? Think of places, people, experiences that measurably show how your work is having an impact. And may these hope spots never be a reason to slow down or reduce our efforts, but rather the opposite. They need to keep us going. I invite us all to think about and identify hope spots over the next couple of days and share them with each other, because these stories are important for us to share and, be reminded why we're doing what we're doing. For a hope spot, I think of our farm. It's a hope spot. We transformed a methamphetamine Hells Angels junkie junkyard hideout into a place where we actually grow medicinal plants for all good products. We grow farmers. We grow soil. We grow food for our employees, and we grow our family. Starting next week, we'll be 100% solar powered as well. So our farm is like, yeah, thanks. An unexpected hope spot is the FDA. That's right, the Federal Drug Administration. Imagine that. They made a statement about 3 weeks ago that mineral sunscreens are the only safe sunscreens. What? The FDA said that. They've approved many chemicals for like over 40 years, and now they're like, oops, sorry, they might not be safe. But ultimately, that's crazy. That's a hope spot. Beyond that, so many hope spots are generated by our 1% for the Planet partners. After all, they are the ones on the front lines doing the hard work. I think of the Conservation Alliance with over 50 million acres protected. Yeah, right? United Plant Savers, another long-term partner of ours, creating a sanctuary and a seed bank for critical medicinal plants. I think of our many Hawaiian partners who've leveraged the recent legislation to support their individual bays, where they're closing beaches now for spawning and replanting polyps and actually regrowing coral. Hereticus Environmental Lab is a hope spot, where Dr. Craig Downs has literally put his life on the line to prove the dangers of these chemicals. He is a 21st century Rachel Carson. How many B Corps in the room? You guys are a hope spot. 1% B Corp, right? Yvonne, you are a hope spot. You may have recently updated your company's mission statement, but since the early days, you have time and time again demonstrated that both as an individual and the founder of Patagonia, that you are in business to save our home planet. Thank you. And lastly, this summit is a hope spot. 350 plus companies from around the globe coming together to reflect and share and push the envelope on the possibilities of business making change in the world. You, we, and with all of the other 1% who are not here, we are the largest network of environmental funders on the planet. Yeah, that's right. All right. Woo! So way to go. Way to be here and be a part of this, you guys. I really hope to hear Hope Spot stories from all of you, or some of you, at least in the coming days. And so let's just do just that. Bring our hearts and minds together with hope as our tool. Let's dive in, have fun, and let's grow this movement. Woo! Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.